jump on the Lions, to want to be a part of that, to understand the power of the pride, what it can bring to them, to everyone, to their brands, to their people. So, but it's a very different tone. A lot of our, I have an event management company, and we deal with global corporate clients. So all of our clients are global corporate, heavy in the tech space. Great contacts with the top people kind of from marketing from these organizations globally. But to start taking the voice to them, that's obviously the LinkedIn platform and everything. That's kind of the beginning of that. But what to do around that space, and kind of where's the tipping point, because we're getting pretty close to that, I think, where the community and the message behind it has built a presence and is known for, has built a reputation. And it's getting pretty close to that time where I can start knocking on doors going, hey, what do you know about NFTs? This is the space you really need to get into over these next couple of years. And so, Lions being at the forefront of that, obviously. But it's a super different space. So, yeah, they're kind of the couple that I wanted to toss around and see. And, David, I know you've got some solid experience in that area as well. What are you feeling?
Absolutely. I was going to just say I can completely relate to that. So, my day gig when I'm not, roaring on Twitter is actually I head up e-commerce businesses and brands. Currently, I head up 6 brands within the Samsonite portfolio: American Tourister and Samsonite and High Sierra and a bunch of other bag and backpacks. But I've run brands like Reebok over the past 15 years. And you're right on. Brands are constantly looking for communities and personalities, celebrities to align themselves with. And, one of the things I'm a big believer in for brands is, you spend about 70% on of your budget on things that work. You're constantly testing with another 20%. And then with the other 5, you're kind of looking for that crazy shit, like what's next. And I think the NFT space is sort of teetering between the 5% and the 20%. And constantly what I'm thinking about is, what is it that I need to reinforce about my brand, and who out there exists that can help me be authentic. So I think when I think about the Lazy Lions in that context, I'm really interested to hear from the community and to hear about what do we authentically stand for. And I'd love to hear from Nin on it too. Like, who are we and what do we represent? And I think that can be a real gateway towards what types of brands and what sort of activations can help us, become the community and the project that companies and individuals want to align themselves with. So super excited for this conversation and really looking, forward to hearing from Nin and everyone on the call. So with that, we do, So we're super excited to have Nin on, who is just the marketing extraordinaire and the roarer in chief over there for the project, and the awesome person I've had a chance to catch up with and learn from already. So Nin, how are you? What's going on?
Great. What an intro. Thank you so much. It's this is so exciting. And yeah, firstly, I just want to say I really want to sit back and listen and jump in when I've got something valuable to say, more so
totally.
than me doing all the talking. But I'm also conscious that you guys really want to hear about where we're taking the brand. And I think we're very much aligned with what everybody has been saying about it being so community driven and that sort of thing. But like Disco said, it's interesting to see now how do we make a play into the B2B side of things, and going after those corporates, because we do provide value. We just need to kind of channel that. So yeah, I'd prefer to see what you guys think, and let you know if that kind of works with, because we're still also, just so you know, trying to solidify that. I know we've spoken about core values. Quite a few of the members of the community are involved in kind of helping us make sure that they fit right with what they think as well before we launch them. We're looking to launch those next week. So yeah, I just want to get your thoughts first, I suppose. Sorry to fling it straight back at you. Yeah.
Wait, Nin,
Yep.
what's launching next week? What's launching next week? Let's make sure
the core value.
we're clear about that.
We've got the core values being
Nice.
Yeah, not so much
Awesome.
launched, but rolled out, I suppose. Kind of, yeah, you've been
No,
hearing
I just
about
wanted to
it.
make sure I understand
Yeah,
what's coming. Yeah, I didn't know.
more
So
stuff coming next
cool.
week. No, just the core values.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
No, that's cool. That's a big deal.
yeah, it is.
That is a big deal.
Love it. Can't wait to hear more about that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll start because someone's got to sort of throw their head on the fire here. To me, I think that we hit it at the beginning, which is the power in this brand starts with the pride, the community, and the I think an element of that I think is going to be very exciting for partners is our optimism and our ability to sort of get behind anything that we believe in and really make it significant and big. Think about when Arizona Iced Tea bought a lion, how quickly this community roared for that brand and rep that brand because we felt like not only were they part of the community, but they did it authentically. So there's no doubt that community and optimism is going to be a powerful tool. And then I think innovation is going to be a powerful tool. We've done some amazing innovative things as part of the Lazy Lions. The DAP is an example. And I can tell you that's it. And again, just putting my other hat on as a marketer, being known as innovative is critically important to so many brands out there. And us bringing that mentality to them and coming up with unique ways to portray their brand, I think is going to be very, very powerful. So innovation and community are the first two that sort of definitely jump out at me.
Yeah.
I want to frame a couple things for everybody in the audience before we continue, because not everybody knows what we need to give a little bit of a description of these things because not everybody knows about them, right? So, one thing you mentioned was at the Lazy Lions. When was it launched? This week,
Yeah,
was it?
Thursday.
Earlier
Yeah.
this week, I think. Thursday. So literally like 2 days ago. And so the, the Lions and what they created was a way to refer people into the community, just the Discord community, and have them get their first sort of experience of getting a NFT. It's close to an NFT. I'm just going to call it an NFT for simplicity's sake. So they were able to get a free pack that had two kind of cards in it, and those live on the blockchain, and they're free, completely free, and they get dropped to you. And so anyone who refers people gets a pack for the referral, and then is able to. Then the person who kind of signs up for the Discord also gets a pack. So it's very similar to something everyone's probably familiar with the old kind of Dropbox double referral program, where you would get 100 megabytes or however many megabytes, and they would get 100 megabytes for everybody you referred. And so it's pretty revolutionary in the space in terms of something that makes it so that one, there's a referral system for an NFT project. I've never seen one before. So that's one. Number two, there is a way for people to receive value and receive these packs and start having the experience of owning an NFT like thing, or an NFT, as I said. I'm just going to call it that, even though there's some technical differences. And it's free. So people basically get that experience, and it's very close to almost like a minting experience when you go through it. And so I think the stats were shared in the Discord earlier today, but there have been 4,000 new members to the Discord in the last couple days. And that's a result of this referral sort of system working. Now, when I think about marketing, it's reach, it's getting to the audience, as you mentioned, David, like around the sort of bringing brands in. They want to know, like, they want to engage with communities, they want to understand them. And I think, to put it very clearly, like the Lazy Lions are not just thinking about the Lazy Lions, they're thinking about how to bring new people in the community, whether they have an actual Lazy Lion or not. And this whole PAX, like, it was very Thanksgiving themed this time, but there's so many opportunities because now you're talking about community and art and referrals. So it makes it really easy for somebody to even bring their non-NFT savvy, or people who have never bought one or have one, right into the community pretty fast. And I think that that's really, really cool. So just wanted to make sure we level set and share all that so people know what we're talking about.
Awesome, Heaton. And I'm super keen to see the. I haven't actually been through the DAP experience yet. I got to kind of connect my wallet and stuff like that, and then we were working through the the kickoff phase to that, shall we say? So the onboarding process to that, because I understand, obviously connecting your wallet and getting into the Discord is one thing, but I think I haven't seen it. I haven't been through it, but the onboarding process once you actually get into the Discord potentially shows people how to go through different aspects of and beyond just the Discord, what else needs to happen, whether it's the MetaMask thing or kind of getting, setting up on OpenSea and linking those two, or because, the biggest pain about getting started in NFTs is so complicated. So many moving parts, and let's not even get into security there as well when you layer that one on. So I'm looking forward to, if that's not already existing, that's a potential idea there to be able to help with that whole DAP process through to, once you're in the Discord, the README and the other bits and pieces that you go through as an existing NFT user. What's the onboarding process that kind of happens from the DAP? Because I can't wait to be able to introduce, one's community and kind of new buyers, new users. But then the second piece to that is for me to be able to explain to my clients, to these people that I'm wanting to get behind the brand, making it attainable and easy enough for them. So,
and it's two things I think are interesting about that. So one is the way in which our community wants to welcome people new to the space, I think feels really authentic to our community too. Like I love that the focus of the leaders of the project of Nine and Asher is to create this environment where we're not we are bringing people into this NFT community with arms wide open. I think that's super powerful, and really, again, meaningful in the context as we think about our identity versus some other projects that, there are some great projects out there that have a different point of view regarding inclusion versus aspirational. And I would just, again, thinking about the brand and the lifestyle of being a lion, I love how the DAP and the things that we're choosing to build are so inclusive. I think that's like such a cool thing that is going to be meaningful. I do want to call out, because I'm in the general chat too. Chicken McDugget in the general chat in the Discord just had a great question that I think is probably important for us to just throw out there as we start this discussion. Basically, she said, I hear a lot about value brands can find in the lions, but can you spell out better what lions get from brands other than them pumping our backs? How can we ensure this relationship is symbiotic and not parasitic? Super good call out. So as we think about brands we want to align ourselves with, or brands that might be interested in our values, I think that's just such an interesting and important question to say, are they bringing our community value? Are they representing the lions the way that, we want to? So, I think that's a really awesome point that Chicken McDugget brought up.
Absolutely. And I guess that's probably why we appear to be moving a little bit slower when it comes to these collabs and partnerships, is that we're very focused on making sure that there is value provided to the community, because it would be really easy to say, yep, we've partnered with these guys, go get them lots of impressions, right? But then what are you guys getting out of it besides being potentially shilled to or just used in that way? I dislike it when people started to catch on to the fact that they can just say, hey, Lions, where you at? And people boost them up, and then we get nothing out of that. And not we, as in the community. You guys don't get anything out of that. So that's been a big part of it. We need to make sure that any brands that we partner with align with our values. And as we get clearer on those, that becomes easier as well. But yeah, that is a big thing. We need to make sure that you guys win if we're promoting anybody else. And I guess just with the point about the onboarding as well, that was something we really did spend a bit of time mapping out early on. So when you do go to Discord, we put ourselves in the shoes of a complete newbie and thought, what are the pain points? And off the bat, setting up a wallet. That's always the number one thing, right? Is how do I even do this? It becomes this scary process. So when you come in off the referral app, you do get given different channels in Discord that kind of ease you into this overwhelm of a lot of channels, because that was my pain point as well, is wow, there's a lot going on. So so we ease them into that as they step through the process. Yeah.
So awesome. I can't wait to go through that and kind of I mean, I guess being an existing user, I probably won't go through that process, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah, sitting with people that I'm referring and kind of seeing that, super exciting. I love it. You guys are always ahead of the curve. Boy, you're all
If you've
over it.
got any feedback, if you've got any feedback, obviously we do want to hear it, because there will be holes in the process, because like you said, we're kind of already in there, so it's not always easy to see it from complete newbies' perspective.
My only feedback is pecan pie is superior to pumpkin pie, so I would have gone with the pecan pie card. But
Yeah.
to each their own. To each their own.
You know how difficult that was, coming from only knowing about Thanksgiving through movies and TV shows. No idea what you guys do over there during Thanksgiving.
That's a fair point, Nin. Like, yeah, we won't stick on this one for too long because we're in
Yeah,
the wrong
yeah,
crowd. But
yeah.
but what do you do with pumpkin pie? You're so all over it, David. It's pecan all the way. Anyway, diversity. It's great. Yeah, so I mean, at the moment we're talking about partnerships and stuff, and a brand alignment. I love that you've got the core values kind of coming out. That's going to be another huge play in making sure that is aligned. But again, I'm keep pulling it back to the LinkedIn conversation there and touching on the corporate space as opposed to just the Twitter raws. And obviously that's where we're masters in that space, but for me, so I have a personal brand in the LinkedIn space, right? I've a reputation with clients, and kind of this is what I'm known and valued for, and so drawing them into and bringing in the education of, like, for me, honestly, it's a huge win if I can be the catalyst to opening the eyes of some of these clients, the global corporates, to go, you're going to be hearing a lot of, most of them don't know so much about the NFT space at all at the moment, but they're going to want to. And so being ahead of that curve and being able to plant professional seeds. And I love that at least getting into the Discord and kind of the actual project and chat is easier through the DApp process. But, I've seen some of the posts that Ash has been doing from the LinkedIn presence, even the first one that he did, got the suit on, ready to go and kind of talk, business end of the stick. Beautiful tone going on with that one. I guess, yeah, that'd be the platform that I'd be looking at and using. And I'm interested in ideas on David, Heaton, kind of anyone else there. What do we think? What do we suggest? How do we take the tone to that platform without having the power of the pride behind it going raw, raw, raw all over posts, which is obviously not the right look to it. Any thoughts on how that can be
It's
utilized?
a really interesting question. I think one opportunity is all these subgroups that we have within the Discord. Do they have more power specific to social platforms that are more focused? So, for instance, some of the stuff we've done with job boards for Lions, like, do we create just our own place to start to build our community? Maybe that's one way. I mean, again, it's more about just taking our pride and having a place to, be lazy together on LinkedIn. But how maybe it's taking some of those things and building them within the LinkedIn platform. I know one thing that I think we all can do, and I've seen that the mods have been posting, is how, if people within this community have connections that can help us LinkedIn, via LinkedIn. I know that's definitely something that I've seen out there. But yeah, I think it's a really good question. Let me throw it out to the rest of people on here. If people have ideas or thoughts, raise your hand. We'll get you up here, and would love to hear people's thoughts about LinkedIn and how we can maximize it for the community.
I don't think LinkedIn is the place, obviously, to do the same thing we do on Twitter. I don't think you're going to get the engagement model to work very well on there for a number of reasons. So I really like the idea of the team, the leadership actually posting there and talking about the business, talking about the brand, talking about things like that. I'm not very bullish on the same strategy on any other social platform except Twitter, for a number of reasons, though. This isn't because I think LinkedIn's not a good platform for the Lazy Lions. I think that basically the NFT perspective in the general public is FUD, so fear, uncertainty, doubt, and confusion, until they find some path in, such as a friend. And maybe there's going to be a bunch of that happening in the US, at least during Thanksgiving. We'll have to see what happens right after Thanksgiving or during, as to, does the word spread? Because obviously it will. And people have conversations and things like that. Even like recently, I try to have them on Twitter as much as I can and make them public when someone says something that I respect, or sorry, someone I respect says something that is, it's clear that they don't understand a lot of the things that the people that are in the space do, and they're trying to wrap their heads around it. And so I think LinkedIn's the best place for that. It's almost like dispelling the myths, talking about it as a business, because it's a professional area, and I myself don't feel comfortable changing my profile there because of the business I do. And I'm fine on Twitter, not because professional people are on Twitter, but Twitter, this is a norm. I think Twitter I use more for fun, personally, honestly, for real. A lot of other people don't, but I do, and I can mix it all up. While LinkedIn has never been a platform where you want to mix those things, and talk about like what you had for breakfast, unless it's the context of business. So I'm really excited that the team is going to put effort into LinkedIn, because I think that is a huge opportunity for NFT project leadership. Because that FUD and that uncertainty and that confusion, that humanness behind NFTs doesn't come out unless you like start poking around and actually go engage. You don't get it. You think all these people with these profile pics are weird, frankly. That's kind of the situation. So I'm excited about LinkedIn because of that. I think the way to engage is have leadership keep pushing stuff there. I would talk about the referral DApp on there, and I would write a lot about it, actually, because I think it is innovative. It's a business thing. It's not just like a NFT thing. And that's also what I love about the founders, Nin, Asher, Nine, and the team, and what they've been able to do, because they're thinking like a business. They're thinking like a community. Like they're also thinking community first as a business, and I think that's going to be really fun to watch on LinkedIn, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there to do it that way. Yeah, that's my thought process.
Just to jump in, so that's a great point. I mean, we don't want to hijack LinkedIn and turn it into a secondary Twitter. There's actually no point in that. The vision I personally had for LinkedIn was that we use it as a platform to educate on the business side, on, there's a lot of intelligent people there that are business savvy. And so we want to explain to them what NFTs are and how that can benefit their business, to start that conversation, so that when they start to look at NFTs, their first thought is like Lazy Lions. Like that's what we want, is for anybody who's new to the space, their first interaction is with Lazy Lions, and that's how we plan to do it in LinkedIn. So you will start to see a lot more thought leadership pieces from Ash, from myself, on our specific areas of expertise, and we want you guys to carry that conversation on to your networks as well. And I guess to David's point as well, it would be a great place to set up maybe a group, or those like a group where we can communicate with each other on business side of things. Not that you can't do it on Discord, but I guess it just focuses it, and you can share it more to your network there.
I agree with everything that
I would be hesitant on LinkedIn groups or anything.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just want to chime in real quick. I'd be hesitant on LinkedIn groups because like they're not actually that active and are not that great of an experience on there.
Yep.
So I'm not sure about bringing community into it like that. Just 2 cents. I've played with it a lot. It's not, they don't even promote it much on the app or anything.
Cool.
So just random thought about LinkedIn and their stupidity. So,
Cool.
I always complain about these companies.
I think LinkedIn could be valuable if we put a lot of information on our project on LinkedIn. So it's educational to the corporates. So they see, oh, they have 120,000 people, 90% male, 25 to 45, high disposable net worth, like stuff like that. So corporates know who they're dealing with from a crowd aspect. And then something else that I think that we need to think about as we partner with corporates that, the community wants to deal with is, how do we allow for them to know that they're dealing with lions at the point of sale or whenever we're interacting with them? So we almost need to like offer them technology that says, look, this is how you're going to be able to tell that this person is a lion, like tracking. I don't know how you do it. The blue check marks on Twitter hopefully come. But that's something that we need to think about as we engage corporates. Is they're going to be like, okay, well, they've got 100,000 people, so let's see if 1,000 people come to this or that or respond to this message, and how do they know that it's actually a lion and not just a spam bot or something like that. So I think those are things that we have to think about as well as we engage and grow the corporate side of the business. And then another question I do have as a lion holder is, if we are doing deals with corporates and they're generating revenue and there's some type of revenue share, are the lions going to get a piece of that in rewards, or will that be doled out to the community? So I know it's a financial question, but I'm very curious about that as well.
Because we haven't started that that level of detail, I have no idea. But that Asha will always be transparent with you guys whenever anything like that comes up. But that is something we're looking at in terms of win-win for everyone. It's not something where obviously we've never been kind of like, oh yeah, we want to win ourselves. We want it to be for the community. So whatever that looks like, it'll always trickle down to you guys mainly as the main priority.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, some great insight there, guys. I love that LinkedIn and the education platform. Being the thought leaders, kind of in and inspiring, educating, opening eyes to what the NFT space will be bringing over these next few years as it kind of evolves. As we know, we're also early, and even articles like Christie's and Bored Ape, and like obviously it's not even just about lions. It's about the space as a whole. Visa and getting their punk, and so just getting some confidence, some comfort around other global brands to go, there are some people already well ahead of this and on the case, and you want to be exploring this a little bit further. Some YouTube channels as well, who are the mentors that we've learned from in YouTube space that are already digging in and educating on, like any of those kind of posts. I think they're solid. And good point. If they are coming from kind of the main account or founders accounts or any of that, and for us to be able to jump on, share with select people. Do you know the other point as far as reaching into corporates as a whole as well? I was thinking of digital evangelists, because you'll have a lot of people in the marketing mindset that are going to be old school. They're not seeing this. They're not kind of getting into it. But within particularly our tech-based, there's a lot of digital evangelists that are absolutely leading the space in this and wanting to, hungry for, curious. So for us to hunt them down a little as well. And when I say us, I mean, each individual that's got contacts within different corporates or whatever it may be. That's certainly a path that I'm going to be taking.
It's funny that you say that because when I was putting together the press kit, one thing I thought was exactly what you're saying. There's old school people who would be like, no, this is, I'll jump in when it's unreal and truly, at its height. But one thing they can't ignore is the demographic data, the impressions, those social stats that we get them. And so we're trying to collate more and more of that, because having worked in marketing for as long as I have, you always gravitate back to stats. You can't deny the facts that this will achieve certain goals for marketers. And I think that's the beauty of that press kit. And whether we evolve it, I think, Disco, you'd mentioned maybe an alternate version for a more of a corporate target audience. I'd love to hear more about that, or any thoughts anyone has, because we'll always update it however you guys like.
Yeah, I was totally thinking there's a V2 there. There's a corporate pack, and you're right on track with it. Look, the same thing, I guess, would, whether it's corporate or whether it's serious investors, individual investors, like it's that kind of, as opposed to those that are buying to get in for the community and all of that. Like a corporate or a serious investor is looking at what's the reach, what's in it for them, where's the smart money kind of investing. So I love the idea of a V2 that's got a different lens on it.
And if we don't, and as the reach continues to grow, they're also looking for a story, something that's PRable, something that can get picked up and is intriguing. So, I mean, obviously we've got great engagement, but it's still in its sort of early adoption phase. So us being creative and finding unique ways to engage that gives them something that really can, that is, we hear the PR we're getting over the past few weeks with Right Click Save and, being in these articles along with some of the other great blue chip communities, it's really powerful. We see the power for our community. We need to come up with ideas that help give that same level of strength of engagement to these companies and brands as well. It's really interesting. Like, so for me, one of the things I wouldn't say I struggle with it, but the thing I think we need to constantly balance is how we talk about ourselves as a brand versus actually just creating a lifestyle. I personally, even though I come from brand marketing, I'm like, people don't necessarily want to hang out with brands. They want to be part of lifestyles. So I think it's really important that the number one focus is that we continue to create this really dynamic and impactful community and lifestyle that people want to be a part of, and be really cautious about how we, like, I like what the team's saying here in terms of LinkedIn being for brand discussion. But even with Asher and Nine, sometimes I feel like let them be the vision, let them be the ones that, just live what we represent and just figure out what are the right ways in which they talk about brand in business or what role they play individually. I've worked with other founders who have that similar thing, and sometimes I feel like you lose some of the authenticity if they're out there talking about a brand versus just really reinforcing the thing that we're building, the vision and the lifestyle that represents the community. So it's just something that I think is interesting for us to dialogue about as we continue to evolve.
I love that, David. You're so right. Hidden, that's almost the Horst Schulze secret sauce that we were talking about in the Ritz-Carlton conversation there, where you just,
Yep.
And I felt this like since I joined Lions as well. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm all in, because I can just feel what's going on with the leadership, the vision, and honestly, like, they just keep blowing my mind on. You guys are working at hyperspeed with such strategy and kind of focus, and I'm delighted that you're bringing out the core values. I know I've said that before, but it allows everyone else to see and know and have that North Star, that direction that you all already have. To get behind it. But yeah, David, you're right. Yeah, like brands want that, meaning we all want that. Everyone wants to belong to part of something that resonates with us as an individual. And it's the humanity.
100%. And it's so interesting. Like, the more I get to talk to Nin and Nine or hear Asher speak, they are lazy lions. Like, they're so chill and they're so cool, but they also just, they're kings and queens. And it's just fun to see that evolution, and then to meet other people in the community that just like, P. Froob and everyone I connect with. It just feels like there is this commonality and this common thread about how we attack life and the vibe about it. So yeah, just reinforcing that, and I think building activations around that, building ways in which the community can roar about it, is going to be the thing that really ignites brands and brings them to us.
I need a fire emoji. We're limited here. No. Oh, love it. Very excited. You've also blown my mind. The P's not silent. Oh my God, I've been doing it wrong all this time.
I don't know. Is it silent? I should have asked him that in New York. Is it silent P or? What do others think? I mean, again, like, what about this community do you think defines it? I'm really interested to hear from some of the voices in the crowd here. I see Suni, I see others. Like, what are the elements that jump out at you? If you had to pick a word, if you had to pick an element, what is it for you that really makes Lions Lions? Because those are the elements I think, as we think about who we partner with, all these different pieces are going to be so incredibly powerful. It has to be authentic. All right, we got Dallas here. Let's get Dallas on stage here.
And I'm going to say there's a game in this, because if you guys are writing the core values and stuff as well, let's see how many of these words that come out you've already got in there.
Yep, it's check the work time. All right, Dallas, welcome on stage.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, King? What's up?
Not much. Hey, yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that sort of stands out for me, like, I've only been a holder for just over a month now, and before I was a holder, like, I'd tweet every now and again, oh, what NFT should I get into, and I knew about the Lazy Lions and stuff. Like, just that community that you guys had before I joined, and like just the overall bond and just the welcomeness that you would give to people who haven't even purchased an NFT, so they don't actually have to be a holder, but they can still be a part of that community, if you know what I'm saying. It's just that overall bond that you feel immediately, even before you are a holder of a Lazy Lion. That's sort of what I felt before I purchased. And yeah, that's so it's the bond, it's that camaraderie, so to speak. That's what I felt before joining, and that's what I've been feeling ever since.
I love it.
The other day, like, I sort of feel like I've got a place, sort of an extra place to call home, where I just had a back surgery done the other day, and I tweeted about that, and like the most response were from the Lazy Lion community. Like, I didn't tweet about NFT or anything like that. I was just like, oh, I'm going in for a back surgery, a little bit scared, blah blah. And yeah, it was the Lazy Lion community who backed me the most and who responded the most to that tweet, just to give me their support. So yeah, it was just that bond that you get.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's so cool. Yeah, it's inclusiveness, right? It's like empathy and optimism and being there for each other. Like, those are some powerful, powerful traits that the community definitely represents. Thanks for sharing that. How you doing? You feeling good? You feeling better?
Yeah, doing better.
Awesome, King. Awesome.
Back asleep, but yeah, definitely pain meds do help. Back at home, so just trying to catch up on all the NFT gossip that I missed.
Nice. Stay lazy. Heal up.
Thanking.
All right. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Yeah, that's super powerful. I mean, this idea of, there's a little bit of just like, even if you're not a holder, that is so powerful. It's like, you don't just have to be, have a lion in order to be part of our community. That's really powerful. All right, cool. Oh, I see an on-chain monkey. Good things. Welcome up. What's up, good things?
Hey, what's up, kings and queens? Thanks for having me up. Thanks for hosting this.
Yeah, love it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Hey.
so I think I talk a lot about inclusivity because that's I think really important to me and probably important to a lot of people in the space as we grow as an industry, like as NFTs as a whole. But I think one thing that's really important about the Lions is the element of fun. And one thing that I noticed, it's like regardless if it's in the Discord or if it's on a Twitter thread, if it's responding to like a positive event, to negative sentiment, the Lions community just has this kind of distinct funness that sort of it's sort of impossible to stop, I think, in a sense. If you look at other communities, there's a whole range of sort of engagement depending on which group, maybe like subgroup of a community members that you're talking with or dealing with. But the Lions really sort of have this unified funness factor to them, and I think that is definitely a really special attribute.
It's so important too to remember that, because I think sometimes we're all so ambitious and we talk about like all these things. So fun is like such a fun superpower, and I love that how we have fun is like not at anyone else's expense, but like to build people up. You talked about inclusiveness at the beginning. I've seen other communities where I'm like literally doing my research and I see that the way they have fun is just not as inclusive as what I think the Lions represent. And I think that those things together are so important. And yeah, there's so much creativity too in the community with the fun, and the things that come out of it are incredible. So totally agree with that. Totally agree.
Yeah, if you think about, I kind of look at something like Disney, right? The success of Disney in my mind, and I got this from somewhere, I didn't make it up, but it's really, Disney sells magic. They don't really sell, movies or amusement park tickets, or it's all about the feeling that people get when they engage with a Disney product or service. And I think like that fun factor of the Lions, like that's a big part of what this community is selling.
Totally.
It's just fun to be a part of this community.
Absolutely. Fun fact, I worked at the Magic Kingdom and sold ice cream. Yeah. So I sold fun, but I also sold ice cream at the Magic Kingdom. So
Ice cream is
that's
very fun.
very, very fun. Very fun. Hey, Gold LP, what are your thoughts?
What's up, everybody? Hey, Kings and Queens. Fun fact, I worked at Disney in Burbank in marketing and promotions, and I did a countrywide promotional tour for Herbie Fully Loaded, which hopefully it was with Lindsay Lohan, and I didn't get to see it before I did this tour, but hopefully nobody saw the movie because it ended up being terrible. But thought that conversation was a good segue. I've been a holder for about 2 months, and I'd say that people say community all the time in NFTs, in the NFT world. But what I've seen is that as a new person in NFTs, relatively new, it's the support that I see in the community and the connection between the people who are here and trying to bring others within the Lazy Lion community up and with them. And I find that like these spaces, I don't know if it's common that, all these other projects have spaces, but it really makes it clear that there's very talented people who are involved in this project. And it gives me, for one, like a ton of confidence. I feel like it's almost like a stock I've invested in, but I'm in the boardroom to think and brainstorm about, what direction we want to go with all of this. And then it goes back to the fun part of it, of like, this is pretty dope, like to be in something that's kind of like in a groundbreaking kind of industry, be able to listen to kind of the head of the entire brand when Asher comes on and talks, and then you guys are all, putting these things on. It's super informative, and frankly, it's just really impressive. So I would just say like the support of the community, the camaraderie of people, and then, parlaying that into fun, and then all of that with like a business undertone that it seems like we're going in the right direction. It's just fun to watch and it's fun to be a part of.
I love that. I love that. And I think in that, like you said, like information, education, on top of fun and camaraderie, and same thing, like getting into this community, thinking of it like a stock, but then you get all this benefit, all this utility, all this friendship, all this information. It's super powerful. Thanks for sharing that. Lindsay Lohan, that must have been quite an experience.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. Also, hey, I just wanted to give a shout out to the king who had his surgery. I reached out to him on Twitter, and I'm happy that he's doing well. So that's awesome.
Nice. Thanks, King. All right, so we're talking what makes the Lazy Lions lifestyle and brand special. We're trying to really hone in on the values, or that one thing that really you think makes it unique, as we think about how we continue to expand the value. All right, so I think, let's see here. Hey, Queen investor student, how are you, Queen? Oh, looks like you're on mute.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Sorry about
Hey,
that.
Queen.
I just had a question. Where is all this inspiration coming from?
We're born with it.
I like it. I like it.
I think we just inspire, like, I mean, that's the magic, right?
Right.
Inspire greatness in others. Surround yourself with people that, you want to be a part of that, and that's, that's part of the magic of the Lions. We've found that, and the tone gets set right from the start. As people enter the Discord to begin, I've been part of the team for 2 months now, and right from day one, the tone that the mods set, and kind of, and welcoming, and queens, and making sure that, language and conversation and stuff is, is conducive to that fun, respectful environment. So yeah, it attracts people that we just love inspiring each other and bringing out the best. Yeah, it's innate, I think.
Completely agree. Completely agree. All right, we've got one more here, and then Disco, you can guide us into a new space. But Lloyd's NFT, welcome.
Hi guys, how you guys doing? It's so cool to hear about what's happening in this space. Actually, we are from Australia in sunny Gold Coast, and it's unreal what's happening in this space. So I just want to say a big hi from us. Thank you.
Awesome. That sounds great. It's absolutely freezing cold here in Boston right now. So that sounds like maybe your weather's a little bit nicer than ours is right now.
So true, so true. We are in the, I believe we are in the high 20s or low 30s in Celsius. So
nice. Great. Welcome. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging with us. All right, Disco, what's your next? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, like, there you go. There's another case in point from Lloyd's there. These spaces, the conversations, and for Nin joining us today as well. Thanks so much, Nin. Amazing. I know you've said that, kind of being in these spaces is not, you like to be behind the scenes and working your magic a little. But these spaces create, an environment where anyone feels that they can put their hand up, come up and ask a question. Like, I've been in some of these sessions, and you've done an amazing job in yourself and Ozark and David. By the way, here you are. We've just found ourselves another host.
First time ever.
Love
How
it.
am I doing? How am I
love
doing?
it.
Send me the critiques.
Dude, you're doing great. I did it
Yeah.
on purpose. You're doing great. I didn't know who would show up, but I'm like, I'm not starting and someone else started.
Nice.
So it's great. You're doing great.
Thanks, buddy.
And thank you, Disco. Yes. I think everyone's just being themselves, like we kind of talked about earlier.
Yeah. Amazing. So the brains, the crowdsourcing brains is going very well. I'm super happy with kind of the corporate conversation and what we're thinking and core values and guiding into that and being leaders in kind of the educational space, welcoming, understanding who we are as a community when we're bringing people in. So that sounds great. I did want to, because as I started kind of setting context to begin, we got two things that are going on here. One is kind of the brand, which at the moment is made up of all individuals. Here we all are, and we're building community, and community is the pride, and the whole project is the community and the pride. And so, there's some amazing stories going on at the moment, all kinds of different posts and stuff. So this will be next bit. I want to kind of shift into some personal brand or personal kind of stories, starting to get, Aaron's leading the charge on this. Ozark with the right click victim. How's your inbox? Has that ever recovered? The guy would have to have moved house and set up a new account. So anyway, we've got the whole community kind of side of things growing. And then parallel to that is obviously that kind of corporate direction. And when we get to that tipping point to the Lions have a presence, an identity, something that, we know who we are, and people and brands want to be a part of it. So two different ways that we're kind of growing here. But did want to talk a little about that, again, open slate, personal brand stories, some of the ones that have kind of, like Aaron getting his tattoo with the Lions, like the kind of ideas that start getting the hype, the innovation, again, the tone of voice that we're kind of using with some of those posts, through with some of the ones from Nick, like the personal tone of those. So, and then who was it? Someone posted one where, the lions and apes, the two having a big kiss and a cuddle, that one. And then there was the artist getting like, he crashed in on the artist and the artist is like, no, man, this is my art. This is my art. But those kind of, posts and ideas, like we all need to get in on those. So I just wanted to throw a few, get that on the table.
Disco, let me add one because I see her in here. How about Suni and the amazing work she's done with women of NFT in building that community and just showing the inclusiveness and openness like that is amazing. So yeah, if people want to come up and talk about the sort of how the Lions and their personal brand and how we go to continue to grow that, I think that's amazing. I see Aaron in here and Suni and who else? Come on up. Don't be shy. All right, here we go. Hey, Queen. She's coming up, I think.
Hi.
There she is. Hey, Queen.
Hi, guys. Hi, kings and queens. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just put the baby asleep, so had to run downstairs real quick. But first of all, David, this is such a great space. You're an amazing host. I'm like actually blown away.
Thank you.
And
Disco is
as
inspiring
always.
me.
Yeah, she's the best too. I mean, I know how she rolls from Heat in Spaces, or that Heat in Space that she had with him. So yeah, you're doing really good. But I forget what you had said. I'm sorry.
No, Disco was just talking about, personal brand and how this intersection of this Lion community and these amazing activations that have come out of the Lions, like Aaron's tattoo and some of the things that have happened there. And I just personally, the things that you've been doing with women of NFT, just interested in your experience about how that came about in the role like the Lion community came, and just interested in like how the personal brand pieces come together between the community and you personally.
Yeah, so, well, one, I appreciate you supporting it. I really, really do. There's not one king in Lazy Lions that hasn't supported me, and especially you. So I appreciate that to an extreme amount. But the idea kind of just popped up in my head one day. I had saw a woman on my timeline post something about just being disrespected in a way. She popped into a Discord and other people started calling her, oh, hey babe, like as soon as they found out that she was female. So literally right then and there, I was like, do you know what? This is pretty interesting. It just sparked a bunch of plugs in my brain, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do this. So I remember I created a tweet and I was like, I'm wondering, like, should I create a Women of NFTs Discord or, a Twitter list? And I feel like Twitter lists, it's a bit harder to engage together. But now that they have communities, that opened up a whole new book here. But yeah, so I created the Discord, and Judah was, she was amazing. She had created her own Discord for her own project the day prior. So she messaged me. She's like, oh my goodness, can I help out? I'm like, please, because I have no idea what I'm doing over here, for being quite honest. And that's how it all started. And we've had over 300 plus, mainly queens, a lot of kings in there as well. We're open to kings coming in as well, and supportive, obviously. And I just felt like it was a great way to connect with other women in the space, an easier way, a safer space to chat, share your own projects, women-led projects, so on and so forth. So, and then just to add to that, and then I'll stop talking. I created an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet of a bunch of women-founded projects the other day. And I'm going to eventually share that on Twitter, but as of right now, I'm going to keep it for Discord members. So if anyone, feel free to head into the Discord. The link is in my bio, and chat away. We have a bunch of different channels just to express yourself and share your story if you'd like. And we had a little doxing sesh last night, so that was fun.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I've been in some of those conversations, and again, bringing a little bit back to Lazy Lions, like I am always blown away. I don't know how you get a group of people who are all purchasing, but they all do have this glue. And I do feel like the inclusivity that I've seen in the Discord is pretty powerful, and just the work you're doing I think has been really, really amazing. So kudos to you.
I want to say real quick, it's really kudos to all the lions out there, because I really wouldn't be in this position without this pride behind me, supporting me all the time. So I really do appreciate every single person that has been so supportive of me. And I was one of the first few queens in the Lazy Lions Discord, and I was lucky enough to never have experienced something where I didn't feel respected. And that goes to show you how the Lazy Lions community is in general, because I don't ever see someone being disrespected. Even the fudders that come in and the scammers or whatever it is, like I don't know how that happens, but we tend to be just like super respectful towards them in a way that's like, listen, all right, not here, move along.
There's something in it, and I wonder like what your thoughts are on this. To me, like part of the lazy and the Lazy Lion is like kind of laid back, right? Like it's like when people are fudding on Twitter, obviously I do see community members that get kind of like
Wrapped up.
perturbed, and they want to
Yeah.
communicate and they want to go after it. But generally speaking, like we show such like confidence, I think, when we just enable ourselves to let our character speak for us. So I don't know. I mean, again, I think there's something in the sort of wink and a nod with lazy there, and I'd be interested like if that's by design or just like the community was kind of like built that way.
It's funny because I'm sorry, Nin,
No,
please.
you go.
I'll make it quick. I've said this on previous spaces before. Like attracts like in a certain instance in real life. I've noticed that a lot too. You surround yourselves with people that are like-minded, and for some reason, I don't know what it is, but the vibes, like you said, that other community members give off, even through a screen without actually seeing someone, are just so welcoming and joyful. And I feel like we've just attracted that sort of community, because I mean, you get your rotten eggs here and there, but I've noticed that there's a very select few, but they just got out of the project because they're like, they don't like how we roll over here, and it's like, good vibes. I don't know what else to tell you.
So that's perfect, because it ties in exactly to what I was going to say, which is it like does attract like. And I mean, you guys have heard Asha speak that a lot of times, and you can tell how he's quite chill. I mean, me, if people start saying negative things, I get a bit worked up and anxious about it. But he's just like constantly saying lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. The amount of times he's said that, it's really started to sink in for me personally. But it is that attitude of, even if somebody does say something that we don't like, what do we care, really? And shutting them down with kindness seems to be working way better than getting into an argument with them. And I know this from, managing social media. When you respond once and that's fine, but as soon as you respond a second time, it's an argument. It's no longer a conversation. And so that's what, you're never going to change anyone's mind on social media when they're saying negative things. And so getting into that conversation with them is just pointless. You're
So
just
true.
fueling them. Yeah, you're just allowing them to say their point of view, and everyone's just talking at each other. And I think, I mean, from the founding team, the boys are very respectful of women, and the fact that I'm on the team means that even if they weren't, I would have shut that down very quickly early on.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, would have whooped their ass.
That's right.
But no, but they're but
That's
they're
funny.
great. I mean, they're great anyway, so that wasn't an issue. And I think they were conscious of that, obviously, that there is a female on the team, and so where you may have gone a little bit down a different path in some of the conversations, they steered back to constantly making it inclusive for everyone. And I know from the outset that was the point, was that it was inclusive for, I guess what I love about the fact that the lions are all lions, and I've steered clear of, like, personally I'm not a fan of the lionesses or anything like that, is because you can't tell who's behind that image. So you have to treat everybody like a human. It doesn't matter what background, what gender, what anything they are. They're a human until you figure out otherwise. And by that point, it's too late. You've already had a conversation with a fellow human being.
Totally.
So that's how we all treat each other. And as people have come in, I know that from day one, they were very on top of that, so that if anyone was being negative, we kind of steered them back onto the path, the right path, or they left. Like you said, people don't like it when they realize their negative attitude isn't being, pandered to, so they leave.
I love where we're going with this. And as our last line of defense, we send Aaron in with a killer gift boot.
Yeah. Yep.
Done.
Exactly. You get a chance,
that's
but
after.
then
Or we just
you're ahead
ban
of it.
DJC for no reason, and that just gets them off. That just gets them off the trail. Hey, good things.
Oh my
Good
God.
things. Did you have something to
Yeah.
share? Sorry, I've seen that you've been waiting patiently for a while now.
Oh no, I've just been listening, enjoying learning about some of the activities from the community, like
Cool.
like SUNY's group.
Awesome. Cool. I wanted to give you a chance. I didn't
So
know. Yeah, go ahead, Disco.
Nice one. So I love where we're taking this with the, just the tone of voice and stuff that we're using, and look, it builds an identity too, like back to the core values again, that, Lions, like, this is how we address, this is how we as a pride, speak to, whether it's fudders or turning fudders into fans. And by the way, I'm not necessarily saying the fudders themselves, they, like, you do you, I'll do me. We all make our own choices in it. It's all good. But the win of that was the Ozark campaign with the right click victim, where we turned that into an ally, into an asset, and consistently held our, hold your chin up and kind of, just work smarter with it, which was amazing. So fudders to fans, and how quickly that came about as well. Like, that was just, we saw an opportunity, the tone of voice and kind of who Lions are, started the roar really, and the campaign itself ended up smashing, like, beyond anyone's kind of goals there. So I guess I'm planting a seed, like, for all of us to kind of keep the radar on, keep an eye out for those opportunities, those movements and stuff going around, the new hashtag, what is the next one, what is the I guess you said it, David, rally cries.
Yeah.
You called it,
Yeah.
not taglines.
No.
And stuff. Rally
Rally
cries,
cries.
like, that we get behind.
Roars over floors. That's a rally cry, right? Yeah, in Disco, like, I'm super excited for the core values from my perspective too, because I want everyone in the community here. Like, when you see those, I know Nin's gonna do an awesome job sort of, like, when those come out, I'm so excited to see them. But, like, those are gonna be so impactful because they're kind of like the guardrails for us. They'll help us figure out, like, okay, like, this is where we want to win. Like, it'll give us I think it'll make us even that much more creative, because we'll have these ideas that we can then really expand on through our creativity. So that, and like the right click save thing, like, I don't even know exactly how that was built, but someone had an idea and then everyone sort of, like, ran in the same direction. So that's what excites me about this next phase as these start to evolve is, I don't know, for me in business, I always say it's like people need to know, like, what success looks like and what their role is in creating that success. Once you do that, they feel empowered to, like, go. You don't have to tell them how to do everything. You just need to say, like, hey, we want these people to know this, and your job is to tell them. And then it's like, cool, I'll tell them how I like to tell them. And that's why I think this next phase is going to be so powerful for us, as these things start to become, more and more solidified. So super exciting, super, super exciting.
Love it. And can I ask I'm not sure if anyone else needs to come up for this one. It's about algorithms, because when we saw the right click victim, and then that ended up turning into that guy that downloaded all 10,000 lions and turned it into the right click and stuff. Like, I mean, who has that time?
That was crazy.
Anyway, good on him. It worked well for us. But then, the next level of that ended up with the Bloomberg article, obviously, because of the exposure of and lions being attached to that campaign and stuff as well. So, but, as that was kind of rolling out fast and furious, and Aaron, I've seen you kind of talk about algorithms or use these hashtags and stuff as well. How does that work? I'd love to hear from anyone on, because that's about work smarter, not harder. We are lazy after all, right? So we come up with great ideas, ninja style kind of use of it, but work smarter, not harder with it. When we say pride, get behind this, it's creating that new algorithm that obviously, brings us onto the global stage as well. But I don't know how they work. I'm not sure what it is. And the whole bit about the retweet versus, like, what is it that kind of guides? Anyone know?
And
So,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Good, thanks.
yeah, so I'm an engineer, but I don't have any expertise on the algorithms behind timelines, and honestly, I don't believe anyone really does outside of the companies that are responsible for creating those. But they generally work. I would say I'm pretty confident they work off of machine learning algorithms. Yeah, so machine learning algorithms. And this is huge amounts of data that goes into these machine learning models. And essentially what they are optimizing for is engagement. So it's something that is dynamic. It's not something that is rules based. Like, it's not like a bunch of people in a room got together and created a bunch of if then type of rules. It's definitely just consistent data being fed back into the model readjusting and sort of like outputting the rules on a rather consistent basis. Like, I don't know how often they do this, but I would imagine they do it probably on like at least a daily basis, if not sometimes maybe hourly. So really, if you look at kind of like sort of the nastiness around social media, it's really the things that come up to the fore the most are where people are arguing. And the reason that happens is because that's just a ton of engagement. So we obviously we're trying to avoid, go the opposite route. But what the Lions have done thus far is really they've just generated a ton of engagement, whether it's through the right click save sort of movement that was happening, or the anti right click save. Whether it's just, every time you see a lion, you just you just respond. So really, it's just about engaging as much as possible, and I don't think anybody really does it better than the Lions, to be perfectly honest. I'm obviously biased a little bit, but I'm part of a lot of different communities, and I kind of like spread myself all over the metaverse, and there's nothing like the Lions in terms of engagement. So I think people are doing the right thing, and every single lion that we get to join, new king or queen, I mean that's just growing the sort of engagement force.
I think too, like, for me, right click save, I'll take not the counter argument, but like, I think that yes, from an engagement perspective and from a sort of PR and a messaging perspective, it was really impactful. I think you could look at it and say, like, was it the right message and did it deliver on sort of like our value set holistically? And I think that you could make an argument it didn't in some ways. In some ways it did. Or maybe it was real because we created it, so it doesn't matter. It just is what it is when the community develops it. But I think the power of it, like if there are takeaways, Disco, to your point, obviously it sparked a virality. It created significant engagement, which led to, stories and PR that put us in in some ways with some of the other great communities out there. So there's positives in that. I think as we continue to build, it's how do we leverage these algorithms to make sure that we're hitting it right down the middle, that we're telling the right stories and putting our efforts into the things that we think are going to be most impactful for us. And again, that I think the DAP is coming back to the DAP. I think it's been super powerful because we were all aligned in the thing we wanted to deliver, and we all deliver it in a different way. But at the end of the day, it reinforced our inclusiveness. It reinforced our want to create a community of people that are getting into the NFT space, and very different than a exclusive community, which I think is really interesting. It's a really interesting distinction between us and some of the other projects out there.
Amazing, super insightful. You totally answered my question, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, interesting concept though. Good things that you were saying. It's usually a lot of the negative ones, obviously, that take it because people are just to and fro, kind of slagging each other off. So I mean, I get with the right click victim, we turned that to use it for good and not evil. But yeah, it's a little, it's playing on. Well, we kind of played other people's vulnerabilities there a little bit.
I do think this.
Yeah.
Your point on the tattoo though, and I know Aaron. I don't know if he can chat a little bit. Man, that is like, it's amazing to me, and I'm really interested in hearing and talking to him more about it at some point. If he can talk now, it'd be great. But when I used to run a brand called Life is Good, which is all about spreading optimism. It's an apparel brand with a big nonprofit piece, and people would get the Life is Good logos. We'd see tons and tons of tattoos, and like just think about that your brand or your what you stand for means so much to somebody that they want to make it part of themselves. I mean, that is incredibly powerful, and that's why obviously that content was highly engaged and shared, because it's so deeply rooted in his life and his lifestyle forever. So there's just something really, again, powerful from a personal brand perspective about what it represents for him. So I think that sort of thing is how do you take the sort of brand love associated with those sorts of experiences that people have, and bring them back into the community every day. It's a really interesting question.
Love it. And with what you were saying, David, about tying it back into the core values there, we don't need to know all of the answers. Like, I mean, it's only been 3 months down the road kind of thing. Like, these things will unveil themselves, those opportunities, that messaging kind of what as we go on this ride. So yeah, gosh, my mind is ticking over. Loving this. Awesome.
Alrighty. So Disco, you had some great, I'm looking at our sheet here because you had a lot of really great ideas and questions. Let's dive into another one of these. Let me see.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on the list there. We've gone through kind of a lot there, I guess. I mean, Aaron's being very elusive today, but one of the first ones I had was about the tangible real life scenarios. People, they can resonate with people. So, again, whether it's the tattoo, whether it's the crashing in on the artist kind of, doing his work, or like, I loved some of those features, those stories. Like, there's some great brand amplification with that merch. Obviously, the merch drops and smart placement of how we're using that, kind of bringing that to life is pretty exciting too. The Bitcoin Eyes lion, the lazy hat Bitcoin Eyes that I've got, the guy that I bought it from, Now Crypto, he had just as I bought it from him, he had a metal poster like made out of it, and so it looks so hot. Oh my God, we should have amplified that one more. Oh, so cool. So having the high res images and stuff now for us, individually to be able to play with and kind of bring to life is going to be quite cool to see all of that roll out too.
They look so good. I've seen a lot of people like honing in on the different features and making them their Twitter profiles because they're just, I don't know, they're just amazing. The detail that was put into the high res images. Kudos into the team. That looks amazing. So Disco, I have one of the questions we can kind of throw out to the community here. Maybe we want to go in this direction a little bit. So we call each other kings and queens? That's something that's sort of been at the heart of what we do. Like, I'm just interested in like, what does that mean? Like, what does being a king or queen mean to people? Like, does anyone want to come up and talk about like how it impacts them, or like, was that a surprise when they came into our Discord and started hearing, the way in which we like talk to each other? And it's just such an interesting, like, you come in and you get respect. Like, the first thing someone does is like call you a king or call you a queen. It just feels like such a powerful mechanism for what we represent. So I don't know if anyone had any thoughts about that, or like had an experience when I came in and it was like, oh, look at this. I could get used to this. This is different than, what my wife might be calling me when I don't do something around the house. Like, I think there's something in that, right? There's something in the idea of how the community sort of represents the respect for each other.
Yeah, love it. Do you know, it's changed the queen connotation for me. I've got 2 teenage daughters. They started this whole thing of whatever 6 months ago, and they're like, oh yes, queen, like yes, queen, even before lions, right? And I'm like, no, that's mummy, that's mum, whatever. Didn't like it so much. Now I'm all down with it.
That's great. I love it. I know someone in the crowd wants to come up. You can take us in a different direction too. Like I said, like, this is open source. So if people have thoughts about the brand and any of the topics we're hitting, feel free to be confident, come on up and chat with us. If not, we do have, we have a lot of things that we were thinking about chatting about.
I've got something, I don't know if this is diverting us a little bit, but just empowering the community to do marketing. I think this has been a topic that's come up a bit. When there are ideas or anything you want to do that you need the support of the dev team, I would just want everyone to be comfortable to coming to us. I know having worked with marketers, sometimes they have big egos, and if they're not the ones that come up with the ideas, they get annoyed. But we definitely don't have that in this team. Ideas come from everywhere, and we want everybody to feel like they are part of the team, I guess, an extension of our team, and that they can do things to help promote the brand more. It starts with, hey, do you have any contacts that we can help, promote us a bit more? But even like the ideas with the right click save movement, if there's anything else that a thought comes to mind or whatever, you want to speak to the mods or you want to speak to us direct, send us a message or let us know if there are ways we can help you. If there's graphics you want created or whatever it might be, we're always open to those ideas.
Guys are so awesome. Like,
yeah,
I know, right?
It's just incredible. Like, the transparency and the openness, and just like, because any of us that work with people that found companies and or have visions and everything, and just the fact that you are so open and that it is such a collaborative project is just so awesome. And I think, like, yeah, I can't say enough about how much that means to so many people here in the community.
I'm glad, because we don't just say the community is about the project and project is the community just for the sake of it. We really, really mean it. And you would have seen that through the entire dev team has that same opinion. It is you guys driving it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Just on that, in regards to the whole like marketing side of things, well, the way I see it is like, obviously when people purchase these NFTs, like, you're purchasing the rights to this item, so pretty much you're not just marketing the one item for yourself. You're marketing, you're pretty much becoming a part of the marketing team yourself when you purchase one of these NFTs, because you own the rights to it. You want to, make money off it in the long run. Maybe you want to, see it succeed over time and help it prosper. So the way I see it is in that regards would be like, yeah, you want to make sure you got the best intentions for it. That's how I sort of look at it all when it comes to that marketing side of things, and when it comes to promoting, any sort of any NFT that you're a part of or that you own. So yeah, to me, and also on like the whole kings and queens thing, like yeah, I wouldn't. To me, when you join in and you get called, like and you get shown respect, then you also will give respect. It's one of those things. It's hard to come by especially on an online scene where you don't see people face to face, and you need to try and just trust and respect each other. Especially in this sort of day and age where the online scene is more known for online bullying and things like that. It's definitely a great turn to join a community and be shown respect.
Love it, Dallas.
I love
Absolutely.
that. No, I totally agree.
Go for it,
That's
Edad. Jump in. Yeah.
I'm clean at the same time as trying to rest my back and yeah. So I'm just giving my 2 cents at the same token.
Appreciate it. Yeah, if I
Yeah,
could just.
I mean, I actually have to hop off in a minute. If I could just
Yeah,
jump
go
in real
ahead.
quick. Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I think this is actually my first Lions Twitter space that I've hopped into. So it's great to meet you guys. And yeah, I wasn't able to attend like the entire conversation we've been having, but I did want to ask a kind of question. So like in terms of like like giving and getting respect, from other communities, like I can tell you that at this point I own pieces from many different collections, and I've joined many discords, and I'm part of various communities, and I've been kind of keeping a tab on things. And as I'm sure you guys have realized, like the Lions just have like an incredibly high like level of respect. Like people really look up to the Lions and kind of look to see what the Lions are doing and try to mirror that level of success. And so like one conversation I've had like with one of probably my second favorite NFT community that I'm a part of is the Chameleon Collective, and they're not even like blue chip verified on OpenSea yet. And but I've been like talking with the community manager, and it's just a project I love. And I've talked to them about like reaching out, and I got the referral link from the Lions on like how to submit a submission for collaboration. But I'm just curious like what you guys feel about like potential, or not necessarily collaborations, but how to involve ourselves or or interact with smaller NFT communities, pretty much.
Oh, there's this awesome the Lion's Den. Again, the devs just keep smashing them out. It's amazing. In the announcements, I think, channel. Yeah, we just saw the update come out this week. Going, yeah, you need to take a look at that, E-Dog. It's got everything you're needing. Again, Lions innovating, like taking a Shark Tank style session for smaller projects, etc., to kind of come in and pitch ideas of. So yeah, Lions creating an open forum to be able to work with and support cross-functionally across the NFT space. And I love the comment that you made about Lions being a source of inspiration. Really, like, how good is that? Because again, we've got such solid community respect, manners, the way that we're interacting with each other, and share that love. The more that we can inspire into that space, that is awesome. So thanks for sharing that. Amazing. Love it.
Yeah, great. All right, love it, guys. I'll check that out, and I'm gonna hop off, but it's been a great talk. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, King. All right. Good thing. Did you have something? Good things?
Yeah, I gotta hop off too, but I just wanted to like touch on the kings and queens aspect. To me, it kind of it really is kind of an extension of the whole we are gonna make it sort of ethos that I think is like absolutely pervasive in this space. I think everybody that comes to this space has this sort of inspiration and motivation to really make their lives better, right? That's why people are here trying to make money. I don't see there are some bad faith actors in the space, as there would be in any market, but I see kind of the vast majority of people are just good people that are really just trying to make their lives better. They're trying to invest, and the whole goal of the making money is to broadly do good things with it, whether it's for their own family or for its sort of a greater societal cause. And so, and another thing is like a lot of people that are coming in, this is sort of their first investment. A lot of people haven't even traded like fungible tokens in the past, like Bitcoin or ETH or stuff. And Um, you know, if you are just if you weren't part of the investor class previously in traditional finance or traditional crypto markets, you generally were sort of left out of a lot of the you know sort of profit generation that's happened over the last several decades. And so that's kind of, for me, that's kind of what We Are Going to Make It is all about. It's about people, who haven't had opportunities in the past. Now, all of a sudden, because of the openness of Web3, because of the inclusivity that we're seeing in the NFT space, it's giving them that opportunity for the first time in their lives. And this is, people from all over the world. And so when you get called a king and a queen by like hundreds of people that you've never met before who have this awesome PFP, that is a very empowering thing. And, I
Absolutely.
just, yeah, I just think it shouldn't be understated. The value of being part of a community like Lazy Lions, because you've got you've got I forget what our holder count is, but you've got thousands of lions behind you. I see a ton of entrepreneurs in the Discord, and like every single one of those people now has like a network of people to work with. And even if you don't have a business today, you may have one in the future, or you may just, find new jobs as a result of this. Like the network is incredibly powerful. And the stated goal of becoming the largest Discord community, the largest Discord, that's huge. Like that has such tremendous value. So yeah, I think kings and queens is a very, very important part of the sort of the brand value and the community value.
I love that. Good things, I hadn't looked in a minute, but members 126,000 in the Discord,
Wow.
4,743 owners. That's amazing. So yeah, you can see the power. And I think to your point, that inclusiveness, that openness, that ability for people who maybe haven't had that opportunity to now have the opportunity and to be shown that respect, like that is incredibly meaningful, I think. And yeah, it just shows how far the project has come. That member count that's insane, 126,000.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that. That's incredible growth. We just hit 100K, what, last week?
Yeah, prolific,
Yeah.
prolific.
So
And
so
that's
that's
with, imagine when the DApp, I know that I think we burned out the API because it was so much engagement. The next
yeah.
one's going to be even bigger. So that's incredible.
Yeah, that's another thing, that I think everybody who sort of hasn't been part of crypto before, NFTs is we are definitely in an exponential growth space. And so what looks like big moves right now will end up, you won't be able to see it on a chart, a year to two from now. So it's definitely an incredibly exciting time for everybody that's here is extremely early, and it's just I'm happy to be on the ride with all of you. But I gotta
Awesome.
go. Thanks again for hosting this.
Thanks,
I
man.
look forward to talking with you guys soon.
Thanks, King.
Thanks, good things. You really brought it home with that one. I love
Yeah.
it. Decentralized, empowered, incredible. Yay.
Yeah.
Can
Frappy.
I hop
Oh,
in here? Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
jump
up,
in.
guys?
Jump in.
David.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, King.
I just popped in here and watched some football. I popped in and just always love to hear what you guys are talking about. And I got kind of a cool story to share. I got in probably mid October, and I was into Top Shot for a really since March or so, and I got a buddy that lives in New York that has been into NFTs for a little bit, and as far as when I kind of got in, before I got in, I was just kind of around Twitter, and I saw the lines on everything, like literally everything, and so kind of did some research, and I bought in. And the reason I bought in is because I went to the Discord and told everybody I was from Detroit, and I was just kind of like, wow, these people are like really welcoming. So a couple months go by. I'm on one of these spaces with Heaton, and I start talking about the band Fish, about their community and how they've never been a commercial rock band, yet they have a following that follows them everywhere. And I kind of see it. This is kind of like that, where it's just a welcoming community. And when Asher put his profile on LinkedIn, I went on there, and I've been seeing a friend of mine who I used to hang out with when I lived in Chicago, liking all the LinkedIn and Instagram stuff. And so I texted him. I was like, "Do you have a lion?" He's like, "Yeah, I have 20 of them." I'm like, "No shit."
So usually you get into something because of a referral or brand awareness from a friend, whereas I kind of just jumped in, and now it's kind of doing the opposite of like where it's kind of validating my decision of like, this community is awesome. So I've gotten to have conversations with him, and we're trying to get my friend who got me into Top Shot to get a lion. He's got an ape, and my buddy Connor was like, I've 20 of them. If he wants to buy it below floor and just get in, that would be great. And it's just a great welcoming community. And it's a lot of things have been happening about kind of validating my decision to get in here, just from a community perspective. So that was my first impression. So I got to hop off here in a minute. I'm going to listen, but great job. I saw the thing in Chicago. That's awesome. Just like the New York one. And I really think that's what this is all about, is getting together. And turns out I know people in this community that are in that I didn't know. So it's good small world.
I love that. I'm traveling in a week, and I'm definitely going to wear my lion hoodie that I got made. I'm like, I can't wait to like walk by someone and be like, you have a lion. Like, I think that's amazing when it starts coming into real life and those connections, like, yeah, that you just don't expect. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Frappy, can I ask you a question there as well? Not sure if you can
Sure.
be silent there, but I'm just going for it. You said that you kind of just jumped into the project, really, and obviously, phew, that was a good choice. Lucky that worked out well. But honestly, it was a little bit the same for me too. We won't talk about the lion's addiction that kind of kicks in just a couple of weeks after that. Yeah, no, I end up with a few lions. But what made you jump in? Kind of.
I think it was literally, I'm mostly Detroit sports, some business, the fish community, Grateful Dead community is what I've pretty much honed my Twitter in since 2009. And I kept seeing the lions like everywhere. Like, it was like, how, what is this? And I followed it for a while. And when I first looked at what the price was, it was a little expensive. But then as soon as I start seeing everyone everywhere and like just the community, I started to do some more research and joined the Discord, got in there, and joined a couple of these spaces. And I was just like, this is something I want to be a part of. And I don't know what it means. I don't know what the point of it is, but I'm gonna jump in and see what happens. And as soon as I did that, I'm seeing buddies that have lions, and everyone that's in the space is like, man, that community is so strong. And then I think I got in like October 18th or 20th or something like that. And like the following days, I had a lot of like, not buyer's remorse, but like anxiety. Like, is this so? It's not a lot of money, but it's a fair investment for something I don't know little about. And all these signs just kept popping up, like Dad bought. It turns out we know the same guy, and my friend Connor has 20 lions, and I'm just like, it's kind of like the music community to me, where I'll go to a show and I'll bump into somebody, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I grew up, we went to college with the guy that grew up on your street," or something like that. And it was just it's kind of like the community, it was like the Kevin Bacon theory or something, like everyone knows somebody who knows somebody type of vibe I got. And it was the Twitter. It really was. And the Discord, when I went in, like, everyone here is just cool. Like, it doesn't matter like where you're from, what you do, how old you are, whatever it is. It's just a welcoming community. And, that's kind of what I've been a part of, especially in the music community, is, going to see Fish 100 times around the country. That's what it is. You go to shows with, might go alone, might go with a buddy, but no matter where you are, you can just walk up to a group of people and they welcome you in. And that's what it's all about to me. So I saw that on Twitter, and I really took to it, and really glad with my decision. I'm happy to be part of this effort, this project. It's really cool, especially being so early in the space. So that's what I got.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Do you know, I guess that resonates with all the meetups that are starting to pop up as well. Even in the Chicago one yesterday, and the video that they posted from that. And it's just talking about the diversity of everyone in the room. But you're same people, but completely different, obviously. And that's all fantastic. Like, we love that diversity. But yeah, common thread there. And I guess the lion's heart, really, that's the common thread.
Disco, and to bring it back a little bit to where we started on corporate partnership. I was so excited to be in New York and to have that meetup, and then Chicago. I'm actually going to Atlanta. I'm going to throw a meetup while I'm in Atlanta on the 1st of December. Plug, check out the Discord. But I do think this inclusiveness and getting more queens and queens feeling comfortable, because I do think these meetups are really impactful. So anything that we kings can do to make the queens feel comfortable, to come roar with us, just hit me up too. I'm happy to talk to people that are running the meetups. I do think I'm guessing, just because I've listened. I'm trying to do a lot of listening right now about like what's happening from an inclusive perspective in the NFT communities. Like, hit me up. I'm an advocate. I want to make sure that people feel like they do in our Discord safe, like it's a safe place to communicate. But I'd love to see more queens at the meetups, and I do think it must be. I'm guessing it's a little overwhelming initially, so just something to think about. And if anyone has any thoughts how I can help with that, just hit me up on that for sure. All right, Stradalidocious. Am I saying that right?
Hey.
What's up, King?
Yeah. Straddledocious, yep.
Straddledocious.
That was from my options trading strategies. But yeah, I got into it as kind of just like a speculation thing, It's sort of one of the large cap NFTs, right? So it's somewhat stable, I guess, or gonna be there for the long run, But I'm actually like a coder, software engineer, blockchain developer. So I saw on like the roadmap on the website, the play to earn games, and I was just curious about that, like what you guys were working on or had planned for us in terms of that stuff.
Yeah, thanks, King. Nin, do you want to speak to that?
I am so sorry. I completely missed that. I'm so sorry.
He was asking about on the roadmap the game down the roadmap, and just high level,
Yeah.
where that is, or just what that could potentially be down the road.
Yeah, so I'm not 100%. I mean, I'm not really involved in the game at all. It's more because that's a bit of the techie side that I'm not completely across. That's more Asha's domain and Nine's. But I know they've been looking at it and trying to see, all the opportunities with it, because yeah, we want to do something different, and we want to see how we can incorporate all that, like new ideas and the island and all that sort of thing. But I know that that's kind of sent them down the road of the metaverse more so than anything. So I'm not sure how they're looking to tie that in together and how that would work. Sorry, I can't provide more info on that.
No, I think you brought up the most important point, which is there's a metaverse in the Discord. There's a metaverse channel that was just created. So come hang in there, and if you have ideas, I think that's what Nin was kind of speaking to, which is, where do we take it? What does it look like? It's it's easy to say there's going to be a game, and I think a lot of roadmaps are thinking about games, but from what I can hear from Nin here, it's like Asher's and the team are thinking about the metaverse, and what could that be? What would be different, unique, special? So people like you, Straddle, who come from that sort of background too, in some respects, if you have ideas, definitely drop them in the Discord, and who knows, maybe you'll help us figure out where we take it.
Yeah, just for context, I guess when we started this journey, we had no idea it would end up here. And what we tried to maintain is that we don't just do things for the sake of doing them. We want to be exploring all the possibilities of Web3 and the metaverse. So everything we do, even like the bungalows, where it's like, do we just create a companion NFT, or do we try and test the waters with something else that may not seem like it's groundbreaking at the moment, but it could lead to something else? And so when we first laid out that roadmap, a game made sense. And now, like I said, it's kind of, we're exploring everything and going, is that the right way? Do we incorporate it in the metaverse? That sort of thing. But we want to involve more experts in those fields. So yeah, if you're in that space, definitely get into that channel and discuss away.
Yeah, Straddle, you'll see it in the Discord there, Metaverse channel. It's a new edition. Go hang out there. You'll love it.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. And I'm definitely,
Yeah.
Open to helping out, at least thinking about things and talking about coding ideas and things.
Yeah.
And it's so confusing now. Like when you say metaverse, are you talking about like Decentraland metaverse or Facebook metaverse or some new metaverse?
I think that's I
Yeah.
think that's the open thing, right, Nin? It's like who
Yeah.
knows? Like, I think it could mean many things. I know we do have. Does the Lazy Lions? We do have land in the sandbox
I know they were
or
looking at
something.
it. I can't remember the latest on that, but I know that the idea is that any any kind of thing that opens up, we want to jump in and test it out, because we don't know what this space looks like. We don't even know what it looks like tomorrow, let alone a year or 5 years down the track. So we want to experiment with everything that there is to see how it works and see what works for the community as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Just quickly, that you just spoke about box and having land in that. Can someone explain to me what that it actually means? Because I don't know.
So I can give you, and this is definitely not my expertise, so there's probably someone better. I just know that like there's a lot of these. I think the idea is that just like Sims back in the day, or like Second Life, if you've ever seen those spaces, that there's going to be these places you can go, just like you can go to Twitter, or just like you can go to Facebook. But now imagine your Farmville is like a house you build for yourself, for your digital identity, and that you can go there and have these sorts of communal experiences, my guess, but basically build equity and assets digitally, like you do in games today, or you do in real life. I think that's my best understanding, but I'm actually trying to connect with some people to better understand the space myself. So that's my best guess at it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, to me, it sounds like sort of like a more open world or an open virtual world, sort of like what the Ethereum towers are doing, where they've got floors in that. But the sandbox is more like the actual open ground part of it, where you'll have more options to do things. Cool, thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Can I do just a super quick loop back? It's an easy question, this one anyway, but I know Gold LP's got a question on this as well anyway. David, you were talking about, more females into the space and kind of get into meetups and stuff like that as well. I know it wasn't that long ago that we did the demographic survey, obviously. Nin, was that, I can't remember, was that one just for Lions or was it for people in the Discord? And then
Discord.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, with the massively increased Discord numbers that we've got, and I mean, obviously you'll redo a new one of those at some point that it makes sense in the coming weeks, kind of thing. But I'd be very interested to see what we're attracting, how that demographic changes now that we're heading towards the 200K mark, and yeah,
absolutely,
interesting.
Absolutely. That was great to kind of just show this is where we're at. It wasn't a commentary on whether that's what we want or not, but it was good to know that at the moment this is the split with the demographics, and for us from a female perspective, how can we get more women into the space, or is it a reflection of how many women are in Discord? Because like I've said many times, I personally am not in there very often. It's a bit much for me. So maybe we need to look at doing that survey a different way to get a truer reflection of the demographics.
I also think it'd be interesting to know. I don't know if there's a percentage of the NFT like ownership in the general NFT, and does that 8% reflect? It could be more than.
Yeah, if anyone has that would be great, because I was trying to look for that to see, to just say, yep, this is where we're on par with the greater community, but I couldn't find anything on that.
Yeah, I think
it'd have to be OpenSea or something holding that if they do.
Yeah.
I can't remember when I signed up. Do they ask that info? Yeah.
Right. All right, Gold, do you want to jump up?
Yeah, I kind of had a question along those lines. Like, I know one of the objectives of our community is to have one of the biggest Discords, and I know that we also have a lot of activity on Twitter and whatnot. Is there somebody who or people within the community who are following how we compare relative to other projects? Like, I assume there are, but I don't know what that information is.
That's a great question. Yeah. And I don't know if you've gotten to that portion yet, but basically saying, like, is there a metric or a way in which we will know if we are, when we are, I should say, the biggest community?
I've got a personal spreadsheet that I've been keeping track that we, once a week look at where everybody else is at on the different channels. That's been my way of kind of gauging what we're aiming for.
I think we should take a moment to appreciate how much Nin is accountable for and has accomplished. Just amazing, Nin, everything that you've been able to do since the launch of this project in such a small amount of time. And it's basically, I think it's, just basically you. So kudos to you. I was looking at Google Trends, one of my favorite places to go as a marketer when I'm trying to like put a sell-in deck together for one of our accounts or something. And to see like this brand, this community be birthed and like to have such amazing like amount of not just engagement in a Discord or on Twitter, but like people searching on Google and becoming a real thing is like incredible. So kudos to you. I can't imagine. No wonder you're not getting much sleep on the weekends here with everything you've got going on.
Thank you so much. But it is definitely, the community is just amazing. I mean, made my job very, very easy by comparison of what you must think it is. But no, it's been a great journey. I've never been involved in a brand. I mean, obviously, so many corporate brands, but nothing where there's so much passion for what we have built. And it's amazing to see real life impact that the brand has had on everyone's lives. It's amazing.
Nin,
What
that's
about...
a really, oh, sorry, Gold, can I just say one thing? Nin,
yeah,
that just sparked something for Media 2.0, the media. We should put a couple of these stories of things the community has done for each other.
Yes.
Like
I've been wanting
the
to do that.
tattoo.
That's awesome. Yep. I would love that. If you guys like this, the thing is, I guess I don't have a lot of media contacts, and we've been trying to get some more natural PR, which you guys have done amazingly with the right click movement. But yeah, getting these stories out there, I think really highlights that what our community is about.
Yeah, just following up on that, I don't know if anybody keeps track of it, but what about like Twitter impressions and whatnot? Like, I assume when we go to corporations and things like that, in terms of partnering and stuff, like they want to know those numbers, and I imagine somebody's kind of tracking what we're doing in terms of that, maybe.
Yeah, I've seen like the individual kind of, whoever's account it is that's kind of led the stuff, because obviously all of that's not it's community driven, so it's not necessarily all driven by the main page. Yes, hashtag lazy lions, like whenever those are being used, they can be tracked as a whole. But I know what did was it Ozark? What did he end up with? Did he get to 2 million? He was at like a stupid amount of impressions and stuff from that particular campaign. But yeah, centralizing that'd be great.
Yeah, and that's what I just wanted to touch on. Nin, I know you've done a great job with the graphics on the newsletters with the statistics and Discord numbers, but a centralized like a Power BI dashboard which has that would be really great. I think something, and you can build up that dashboard starting from Discord members, community members, holders, and you can slowly add to it, and potentially have some sort of analytics for even the prices and things like that. So that would be quite a good idea.
I think some of that's coming on the new website, isn't it?
Yeah,
Nin?
we've got
awesome.
some reporting that we've seen. It is more centered, from what I've seen, it's more centered around I guess more sales statistics in terms of OpenSea and all that sort of thing. It would be awesome to get something that's more social media. So hey, if you can build it for us, I'm just trying to find people who know that sort of thing more than I do.
Yeah, no, of course.
Hey, last question for you guys, then I'll jump off. I just wanted to know a little bit away from the virtual world and more into the real world kind of application. I can't wait also until I see people wearing Lazy Lion sweatshirts or see stickers and things like that. In terms of like merchandise. Is that kind of everybody's just printing those things on their own, or are there people in the community who are like setting up as like vendors to produce these things, or people just do it on their own and do it like that?
I think right now, for the most part, it's individuals. I know that I created a lion hoodie. I have seen, I don't know if it's associated with Lazy Lions, but I have seen Lazy Leisure Wear as a Twitter account that looks like they're developing NFT related merch. But I know that those are the only two that I've seen is like, yeah, a lot of individuality and some Twitters popping up like that.
Yeah, on that, I remember about 2 or so weeks ago, someone did actually pop into the Discord and did ask about that. They were sort of looking to become, I guess, in a way, the supplier. So, like, you would contact them saying what you want. Here's my NFT that I want printed on this, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, go ahead with that. Whether anything came from that, I'm not too sure. I don't know if they got a hold of anyone in the Discord who could put them onto the right track for Lazy Lions. But there's definitely people, I think, or companies who would be interested, I think, in a community as big as this one. You know, that there's a fair bit of money that they'll make out of it, obviously being the ones who'd be producing and printing all these items. So, yeah, whether the marketing team approaches someone and tries to put something together and, try and make a deal, that would be something to look forward to in the future, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%, Dallas. But I think, sorry to cut you off.
Not at all. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we should just also, if we do look at supplies, look at it holistically in terms of not just clothing, and it should be a supply that we can do all in one. So, stationery, reach into every sort of merchandise angle, not just clothing. That'd be good instead of one supply for that, one supply for that. It'll help reduce costs and things like that as well.
Yeah, I think to Nin's point earlier as well, I get what you're saying, because, then obviously when you can find one supplier and you can get all of this stuff done, and we're all CMOs for our own lion at the moment, and we can kind of choose to have it printed on, whether it's the metal posters or T-shirts, hoodies, whatever it may be. But yeah, I know what you're saying with, it would be nice to have a supplier that you go, here you go, upload this picture, my lion, and they send you kind of merch and stuff for it. But I guess, another opportunity there though is, I tell you, like, first one moves. People that kind of want to use their lion to work out how to make this, like, there's a whole business in that for whoever is the first movers kind of in that space as well. So yeah, I guess that's when you're part of a decentralized structure and, working with innovators and stuff. It's any one of us can make that stuff up, get it happening.
Yeah, merch is definitely something we're looking at for individuals to get their own done. There are so many suppliers, and just like off the top of my head, the print on demand that you can get yourself. For us to recommend one, we'd have to do a whole lot of quality control and all of that sort of thing before we would be confident suggesting a supplier to you guys. And so, I mean, that might be one that's better community-led, where if somebody wants to order from a certain supplier and says, you know what, these guys have produced something that's high quality, then we could look at potentially going in and doing the negotiation for the entire community. But it's something that hasn't been a high priority given everything else we've been doing, but it is definitely on the list.
I wasn't thinking of it as something like top down. I just assumed, I guess, that there might have been somebody from the community who kind of popped up, who's, printing stuff, and then kind of bottom up, somebody in the Lazy Lions who just took it on themselves to do that. But it sounds like it's kind of potentially in the works, or, might just happen organically.
I guess the other thing with that as well is the fact, obviously, you got to look at shipping, because obviously we're all over the world, so it's all about where that place is based. I thought, America might be the best place worldwide, but yeah, that's just another thing that'll have to get taken into a consideration. But obviously, by no means, like, nothing stopping anyone at this stage in time to get their own flyer and get their own thing going.
I'm tagging a couple of tweets here that I've seen recently with some good, people that have gone out and done some merch too. So yeah, I don't know, Crypto Sheep, he posted this really cool one today with a hoodie and a lazy hat. And I said, well, where'd you get the hat? How did that work out? He said, come back tomorrow. So I don't know what that means, but I think it's really interesting, and I love seeing the merch. The IP is so unique with the iconic logos of the lazy and the lions, obviously themselves. I'm super excited to see where the merch space can take us.
Yeah, I've got to find that supplier from NARC. I'll get in touch with him about that metal poster. It looked so hot. Yeah.
Weston
yeah,
Willow,
just,
Weston Willow is one. I got my lion. They do these like prints, and so I got a nice framed my spacesuit, which I love my spacesuit. So I have that printed. Weston Willow does some cool stuff. I think that's just US based, but it might be international.
Cool. Well, we've been going at it a couple of hours here. I think we got through kind of a lot of our questions there, David.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, no, amazing stuff. Thank you for the brain crowdsourcing. Enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Nin,
I have to jump off, but yeah, thanks guys. This was awesome.
Nin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This has been amazing, and you guys have made me feel very comfortable as a highly anxious person. This has actually been enjoyable.
See? I knew it.
Awesome.
Good on you, Nin.
Good stuff. All right. Well, I guess with that then, if Disco, any final thoughts or?
No, that's loving that. No, you've really given me what I needed for that kind of corporate side of things, and core values and kind of V2 press kit, corporate. Looking forward to seeing some good stuff coming out of the LinkedIn page for the main Lazy Lions one and Asher, etc. But yeah, look, it's this to Nin's point. Priorities, and there's so many things that can be done with this space, and it's super exciting that we've got a bit of a SWAT team, really, bringing out the best of different people's talents and strengths so that we're doing it together.
Yeah.
But Nin, pass on all of our thanks as well to the dev team.
Absolutely.
Back there in Sydney and doing your thing. We really appreciate your work. We're all on board, all in.
Thanks, I will definitely.
I think, Disco, you said it perfect. The project is the community and the community is the project. Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and keep roaring. And yeah, we'll talk to you all next time. Thank you.
Thanks David.
Everyone.
Awesome host.
See ya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you all in
Cheers,
Discord.
David.
Ciao, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, kings and queens.